Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today I am going to be canning up cherries in simple syrup. It's cherry season and they were on sale, so I'm going to go ahead and take a crack at it. I've never actually canned cherries before, so this is all just going to be an experiment. I watched a few videos online of how to do it, and so we're just going to jump in and give it a try. I have my pint jars behind me. They are sterilizing. I know you don't have to sterilize them if you're doing it for more than 10 minutes, but generally anytime I do a water bath can, I usually try to sanitize them. So what we're going to try and do is pit these without a pitter and destem them, and then we'll just kind of go from there. I'm going to put them in a simple syrup. It's a heavy simple syrup. I'm going off of the recipe in this ball canning book. And it calls for a heavy syrup, you're going to do 4 1/4 cups of both water and sugar. And then you just pit them and stem them. And then put them in the jars, cover them with this simple syrup, and then can them for 25 minutes. And it says to do 25 minutes for both pints and quarts. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to speed through this really quick, and then I'll bring you guys back when we have them all finished. Finally finished all of the cherries. I don't know if you can see this, but this is some super messy stuff. Like, it's just everywhere, including on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break for a second, clean all of this up, and I'll bring you back. So we got it a little more tidy in here, and now we're gonna go ahead and start filling up our jars. And when I sanitized these jars, I put them in here and let them, they were clean already, so I put them in here and let them go ahead and boil for 15 minutes, and then I turned them off and I just left them there until just now when I grabbed them. So what we're gonna do is just fill this up. Seems pretty self-explanatory. Anymore. And according to the ball book that I'm going off of the recipe for, you want to leave a 1/2 inch, it says a generous 1/2 inch of headspace. And here I have about 7 pounds of cherries. So we should be able to get between 7 and 8 jars, but I don't know why, but this seems like we might get more. I'll have to shake it up. Well, I guess I have a snack for later because there's some extras here. Alright, so now all I'm going to do is top these off. And this again is our warm simple syrup. After we did that, we're going to go ahead and debubble these. And that's just taking a plastic thing, a debubbler, or whatever you can get a hold of. You could use a chopstick, anything that's not metal. And you just stick it in there and debubble it. You just want to get all the air out as much as you can, so you kind of want to push it. All done with the bubbling. And now we're just going to go ahead and top all these off. Pretty on the money for that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and wipe these rims with some vinegar water. About half and half. Just to get any sugar that might have gotten on the rim. Okay, now we're going to lid them. So we have all the flats on there. So now we're going to go ahead and close them all up, fingertip tight. That's what you want to do with that, is just however tight you can reasonably get it with these 3 fingers. And that's been good for me. And into the canner. And anytime you're canning, you want to make sure that the canner that you're putting it in, whether it be Waterbath or pressure canner, you want to make sure if you have hot jars, it's hot water, and if it's cold jars, it's cold water. And that'll prevent your jars from having any kind of temperature shock and cracking and wasting all of that hard work. So we're going to go ahead and let those come up to a boil. As soon as they start to actually boil, we'll start the timer for 25 minutes. And then when the 25 minutes is over, we'll turn it off, take the lid off, and leave it for about 5 minutes. And then we'll start pulling them out of the canner at that point. And I'll bring you back when we get there. So the cherries have done the full 25 minutes in the Waterbath canner, and I turned it off and let it sit for 5 minutes. So now we're just going to pull them out. Alright, so we have them all out of the canner, and I will go ahead and bring you back once these have cooled off a bit and show you what we have. And make sure they all sealed. Alright, so it's the next day here, and the cherries are out of the canner, all of them sealed, and they just didn't seem to have a whole lot of water loss. They all look pretty good, and we tasted them this morning or this afternoon, and they are all really tasty. They're really sweet, and I just totally recommend them. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.